What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to MMOSWORLD. We are bringing you another recap of all the major MMORPG news that happened throughout the week, so sit tight and soak it in. We are starting the news this week with, of course, World of Warcraft. The Battle for Azeroth pre-patch for the upcoming expansion has hit this week, bringing a bunch of gameplay features and tweaks as well. The biggest one, of course, is the Battle for Azeroth class updates. Lots of classes have had abilities tweaked, the combat system had more skills added to the GCD as well, and of course we said goodbye to our artifact power. In addition to those tweaks, war mode is now available, so players on both factions can head back to their major faction towns like Stormwind or Orgrimmar and turn on war mode. This makes open world PvP fun without having to change to a PvP server, and players that do play in war mode will get extra benefits as well. And finally, communities. A new social feature is also now live. Hitting the J key will open up your community tab where you can see your guild chat and you can create communities and invite friends who are of the same faction to join. Moving on, ESO's MMORPG Bless Online has also had some updates this week, most notably the introduction of heroic weapons and the Migra Tourist Elite Dungeon. The latest patch 1.4 brings the new Elite Dungeon for level 45 players. Also, new action control mode for most classes. Now this is a rather interesting one because remember, in other regions that Blast originally launched in, the action combat mode had always been there, but they kind of removed it for the global launch, but now they're reintroducing it to most of these classes. NeoWiz, the developers, have also increased dungeon loot drops and added tons of balance changes and bug fixes. Up next, ZeniMax Online and The Elder Scrolls Online has released a lot more detail about the upcoming Wolf Hunter DLC. Now we know it involves her scene and the Great Hunt, so all you lore hunters for ESO will appreciate that, especially if you're a fan of werewolves. Now one of the coolest things that ESO has revealed about some of the new gameplay mechanics in these dungeons is that it's going to be a lot more different than your conventional dungeon runs. For example, one dungeon will rely on players having to use stealth. So there's going to be a sneaky type mechanic, but not from hiding or whatever, but more of the role of a hunter, where you're actually sneaking and stalking your prey, because remember, we are hunting werewolves in this DLC, so that's pretty exciting. Moving on, Black Desert Online SEA, aka Southeast Asia, is finally getting a brand new PvP mode called Arena of Arsha. The Arena of Arsha is a special type of combat mode that allows adventurers to set the rules of various PvP matches. GMs or guild masters can reserve a specific date with guild funds to host team matches or team survivals. Now these are actually pretty fun. In addition, there's a new Arsha server as well, and on this server, the item drop rate is increased by 50%, and adventurers do not lose karma during PvP matches. Elsewhere, ArenaNet and Guild Wars 2 will be celebrating the return of the Festival of the Four Winds this July the 24th. For the first time in 4 years on Guild Wars 2, Queen Jenna of Kryta and the Captain's Council of Lion's Arch cordially invite players to come back and do this Festival of the Four Winds. This is Guild Wars 2's version of the Summer Festival, so there's brand new gear to grab from a lot of the fun activities that will return. For example, the festival activities in the bazaar, like new adventures, races, and scavenger hunts. Players can also group up and challenge legendary champions and notorious figures in the Boss Blitz and Queen's Gauntlet. And finally this week, Dauntless by Phoenix Labs is celebrating 2 million players with the reveal of the Coming Storm content expansion. The expansion will further evolve the Shattered Isles for players worldwide on August the 9th for free. So this is going to be a free content expansion. So what's coming with the content expansion? Players will notice a distinct and deadly change to the behemoth ecosystem in the Coming Storm, as the introduction of Koshai causes the other beasts to evolve and change beyond their usual behavior and form. So expect to see members of a new faction as well, the Ostian faction, and that's going to bring them new technology. New weapons too, like explosive new grenades, and the first truly ranged weapon, the Ostian Repeater. So keep an eye out for Dauntless. And that wraps up our major MMO news recap for the week. For more MMO news as it happens, head on over to our website at mmosworld.com. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more MMO content. As ever, it's Adrian from MMOSWORLD, signing out.